Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to our first virtual graduation ceremony as we celebrate the class of 2020. Seniors, congratulations to all of you on what you've accomplished. In addition to recognizing our graduating seniors, I want to start by thanking those that have helped along the way. Thank you to families who've been incredibly supportive and thoughtful, especially during this unimaginable situation over the last few months, as you've helped provide encouragement to your soon-to-be graduates. Thank you to our community members who've supported our work and curricula over the years to provide students with amazing experiences. And thank you to our incredibly hardworking and talented staff who dedicate themselves to crafting engaging lessons, beautiful graduation ceremonies, and opportunities for students every day. With a special thanks to our class advisor, Ms. Sino, who has supported the class of 2020 for 4 years and continued to put seniors at the forefront during this period of remote learning. Tonight, as we celebrate our seniors in this unique way, we know this is not how any of us envisioned the end of the school year. Although masks and remote instruction will always be intertwined with the graduations of the class of 2020 taking place throughout the world, be assured that this is not your legacy. Your legacy will be all that you leave behind. Your guidance to underclass students, your work to create spaces to hold difficult conversations, your advocacy, and all that you do in the years to come to build on your learning and go forth and make change in the world. When you're old, like me, you will one day sit in your rocking chairs and look back on this year, recounting stories of historic protests on behalf of human rights and changes made by all of us to protect public health in response to a pandemic. And when you look back, you'll recognize that this time in history is a turning point, a time when graduates like you saw the challenges and injustices in the world around them and sought to make the world a better place. I have no doubt that you will be able to reflect on this moment and be proud of the direction that society took after 2020. You will be able to talk about the work done to break down institutional racism, the steps taken to combat climate change, and the policy changes to create healthcare systems and safety nets that offer protection to everyone. I feel confident in this vision of the world years from now because of my time spent with all of you, as I've had the privilege of watching you grow your strong and powerful voices. Thank you, class of 2020. I miss you. I look forward to seeing you again. And now I'd like to introduce one of our salutatorians, Stephen Mejia.
Good afternoon, fellow classmates, faculty, and friends. In years past, the valedictorians and salutatorians have given speeches about special memories and the biggest takeaways from their experiences. Furthermore, seniors have been able to walk across the stage and they've received their diplomas. Unfortunately, a global pandemic has affected our world. Although we are not able to have an in-person graduation or walk across the stage, we have still made the best of the situation. For this reason, the learning target for the speech is I can reflect on the aspects that make the MELS class of 2020 the best class in the history of MELS. One of the aspects that makes the MELS class of 2020 the best class is how we embody the core value of advocacy. The MELS class of 2020 has cried and stressed over classes, but has never been afraid to stand up and be advocates for the larger community. We have even advocated on a daily basis when we felt an injustice being done to us. One of the funniest memories that come to mind is the first day of government. I was part of the class that had government twice on Thursdays. So we were one of the last classes who actually had government the first time later in the week. For the past few days of that week, I heard rumors about the strict rules that Ms. Katari and Mr. O'Connell had. When the first day came around, the rumors appeared to be true because Ms. Katari was handing out a sheet with about 10 strict rules. After Ms. Katari went through them and a lot of people in my class raised their hands to ask questions or say how unfair the rules are. People were not afraid to speak up and defend themselves. This advocacy work continued outside of the classroom. Our generation is feeling more empowered to discuss issues such as school shootings, the climate crisis, and the Black Lives Matter movements. On March 14th of 2018, the Mel's class of 2020 advocated for their rights as students in the Parkland walkout. A lot of students walked out of their classes and heard speeches from several class officers and several speakers. A few months later, in the first 2 weeks of my senior year, I was busy organizing the Mel's participation in the climate march. I've always had a passion for climate justice, and hearing about the march on September 20th with Greta Thunberg made me realize that the Mel's community should organize a group to attend the march. I worked hard with the principals, teachers, and students to organize the march. On the day of the march, it was so powerful to see over 50 Mel seniors who did not attend school wearing the white shirt provided to us by the Climate Museum. I loved hearing a lot of seniors say, "This is what democracy looks like," and seeing all the creative posters made by seniors. I felt so honored to be part of the Mel's class of 2020 because I saw the passion and courage. The participation in the march demonstrated that we wanted a better future and to avoid a major climate catastrophe. The Mel's class of 2020 continues to display this passion and courage, more recently with the Black Lives Matter movement. It's so inspiring to see how many seniors have been attending marches, making a difference in social media, signing petitions, and donating. Moreover, hearing seniors read different readings during the Reading Town Hall showed our passion and courage. The class of 2020 is not afraid to take the lead on an issue that has been impacting our country for a long time. As we move forward in different directions, I think it's important to keep in mind what Oprah Winfrey said to the class of 2020. She said, "Can you, the class of 2020, show us not how to put the pieces back together, but how to create a new and more evolved normal, a world more just, kind, beautiful, tender, luminous, creative, whole. We need you to do this because the pandemic has illuminated the vast systematic inequities that have defined life for way too long. It has become our responsibility to take initiative on the inequities that have been impacting our world for the last several decades. We as a generation must work together to form a better world." For the Mel's class of 2020, I want to tell you to never be afraid to speak up and to take a stance for what you believe is right. It has become the responsibility of our generation to take action and become advocates for the community that you are a part of. Throughout our years at Mel's, a lot of us have not been afraid to have that courage to stand up and demand change. For this reason, I'm so proud to be part of the Mel's community. Finally, I want to end my speech by talking about the zombie apocalypse challenge we failed during 9th grade community meeting. We may never have the tools to actually survive a zombie apocalypse, but considering all we've done over the last 4 years, there's no other group of people I'd rather try with. I'm so honored to be part of the Mel's class of 2020. The class of 2020 through activism has demonstrated courage time and time again. Furthermore, thank you to all of you who have supported me through all the support you have given me. And a huge shout out to all the teachers and staff who worked hard for our graduation and supported us throughout the year, because without them, we would not be here today. And finally, one huge shout out to Vita, who is the other salutatorian, because I've known her since elementary school, and I'm so proud of everything that she has done. And that, my friends, is on period.
Thank you, Stephen. Today we have the unique opportunity, as Stephen mentioned, to honor 2 students with the esteemed recognition as salutatorians of the Mel's class of 2020, Vita Bridgewell and Stephen Mejia. Will you join me on screen so we can recognize you, please? Vita and Stephen have exhibited high levels of academic integrity and extreme persistence over the past 4 years. They also have both earned the second highest cumulative GPA over the course of 8 different high school expeditions. We are incredibly proud. So please join me in recognizing and celebrating our 2 salutatorians for the MELS class of 2020, Vita Bridgewall and Stephen Mejia. I also have the special honor of announcing and recognizing our valedictorian for this year. Our valedictorian, Isabel Miliconda. Could you please join me on screen? Isabel has maintained her incredible academic perseverance over the past 4 years of high school, earning herself the highest cumulative GPA in her class. In addition, she has served as a class officer for the past 4 years and is an active member of our National Honor Society. She is known throughout the school for her diligence and her great attention to detail in all that she does. So please join me in celebrating and recognizing the valedictorian of the MELS class of 2020, Isabel Miliconda. Now I have the pleasure of introducing the co-advisors for the MELS chapter of the National Honor Society, Mr. Stern and Ms. Bright.
National Honor Society scholars are committed to both the pursuit of academic excellence and the values of service, leadership, and character. As members of the National Honor Society, these students pledge to strive for excellence in their academic endeavors. They also dedicate their time to completing community service projects, both for the betterment of their school community and the community at large.
The white stole the members of the National Honor Society wear at graduation represents this commitment to scholarship, leadership, character, and service. We are extremely, extremely proud to recognize and celebrate the members of the MELS chapter of the National Honor Society in the class of 2020. Congratulations. We would now like to reintroduce Ms. Mills for the Advanced Regents Diploma.
So in addition to students earning all of their required course credits, graduates have also worked really hard over the past 4 years to meet the New York State Regents exam requirements necessary to earn their high school diplomas. There is a group of graduates who have gone above and beyond and earned a different diploma, one that requires passing 9 different Regents exams, including 3 different math exams, 2 science exams, and various humanities and foreign language subjects. Please help me in celebrating our graduating seniors who earned this recognition with an Advanced Regents Diploma. There is also a distinct New York State acknowledgement that is given to graduates who have not only met the requirements for an Advanced Regents Diploma, but they have excelled on these specific Regents exams. And they have earned an average score of 90 or higher on all 9 of the required exams. Please join me in recognizing 2 of our graduates, Daniel Rich and Rufus Black, who both have earned an esteemed Advanced Regents Diploma with honors.
Hi, everybody. I am going to be presenting honors and high honors. At our awards night this past Tuesday, we honored some of the sharpest, most intuitive minds among our class. These are the students who read the books, wrote the papers, and spoke up in class at a level that has allowed them to achieve academic honors. They worked diligently and held themselves to high standards. Despite having hundreds of other things to do, jobs to go to, practice to attend, and responsibilities with families and friends, you clearly made your academics a priority. The silver cord is worn today by our graduates who have achieved honors, equating to a 3.0 to 4.9 as a cumulative GPA throughout their entire high school career. Please join me in recognizing and celebrating our students who are graduating with honors. The gold cord today is worn by the students who have achieved high honors, equating to a 3.5 and higher as a cumulative GPA throughout their entire high school career. Please join me in recognizing and celebrating our students who are graduating with high honors.
Good evening, everyone. Whew. We have a distinct award for today's occasion, the Graduating Senior Stewardship Award. This award is an opportunity to recognize 2 graduating seniors who have cultivated and embodied the important core value throughout their time at Mills. The 2 graduates we are representing tonight are Francis Quinones and Stephen Mejia. Can you please leave your screens on while I recognize you for your accomplishments? Graduates who earn this prestigious recognition do so by consistently advocating and acting on behalf of the Mills community in a way that leads to positive outcomes for other students. They dedicate time and energy outside the classroom to improve and enhance their community, both at Mills and beyond. They push themselves and others to think deeply about their actions and their impact on the larger world. As they head off to college, these 2 recipients will undoubtedly continue to exhibit these traits as change makers in the world. We would like to invite Stephen and Francis. I don't know if you've turned your screens on. Okay, you have. Throughout Stephen's tenure at Mills, he has been an active advocate for the Mills Library and its programs, a steward for the environment and climate change, a leader as co-president of Mills chapter of the National Honor Society, and an important contributor to Mills through his role as the foundation of the Red Cross Club and co-president of his class. He has represented Mills in his participation in the LEAF program and has been a model upperclassman in sharing his experiences as a mentor, listening to the needs of middle school students and strategically creating activities to support them. His reliability and responsibility has made him an asset to the wider Mills community. He upholds the Mills core values of respect in his interactions with peers and teachers, advocacy and stewardship in his dedication to addressing issues and creating change in the world outside of Mills. Frances has demonstrated stewardship throughout her time at Mills in the ways that she reaches out to others in her community. She takes care of those around her and shows dedication to the communities of which she is an integral part of. Frances has spent her time at Mills reaching out to her senior peers as a 4-year class officer. She fosters relationships with students throughout Mills outside her grade with open arms and is a role model in leading the National Honor Society as co-president. Frances supports the members of her track team she manages, pushing them to academically reach their potential and stopping to check in on them on her own time. She supports everyone around her and shows the utmost kindness and patience to others. This year's stewardship recipients will receive a plaque and $500 in scholarship money to use for college. It is with great honor and joy that we recognize and celebrate these stewards, Francis Quinones and Stephen Mejia. Congratulations to you both. I would now like to introduce the tradition of passing down the senior quilt from the senior co-presidents to the junior co-presidents.
t-shirt quote was established by the first Mel's graduating class, the class of 2016. It was created as a rite of passage for all the graduating classes to come. While the ritual marks the departure of the class of 2020, it is a moment to officially acknowledge next year's rising seniors, the class of 2021, and to pass down their role as leaders of the Mel's community and the next to come.
My name is Peter Bridgeball, and I'm the other co-president of the class of 2020. Last year, my fellow co-president, Isabel, and I were in the very same spot receiving the quote from the class of 2019. And today we were handing out that very same quote. As you can see, there are two shirts on the quote representing our class. We have also added the class shirt of the rising seniors, the class of 2021.
This quote represents how Mel's has created a unified community. More specifically, this year, the importance of community has been heightened. By combining these t-shirts, we symbolize how each senior class is able to leave its legacy. The class 2020 leaves a legacy of 4 years worth of successes and failures, promoting the younger grades to learn from our mistakes and to persevere because of our accomplishments. We hope that other students can look to us to see what we did well and figure out what they can do better. We know that what your senior year looks like right now is unknown, and trust us, we understand that feeling. Just know that we are here for you for whatever is to come.
Class of 2021, on behalf of the class of 2020, we pass on to you the responsibility of working closely with younger grades and maintaining a strong sense of community, while also finding new ways to encourage our school's growth. We pass this to you with pride, honor, and respect. We thank you for all your hard work this year, and good luck in the years to come. Gemma and Ryan, we pass this quote to you, representatives of the class of 2021, on behalf of our graduating seniors.
I'm Gemma, one of the co-presidents of the class of 2021. Throughout the years, the class of 2020 has evolved into a strong group of leaders that have added great value to the Mel's community. They are not solely seniors, but mentors for academic guidance and friends for support. Thank you for this beautiful quote and for the wisdom you have thoughtfully contributed to the Mel's community.
As another co-president, I have the privilege of seeing the class of 2020 rise to become the people they are today. I am so proud of the tremendous growth you've all demonstrated. Next year will not be the same without you. Thank you for passing down all of this knowledge as well as this tradition.
By accepting this quote, we promise to continue to closely collaborate with other grades and class officers to achieve the ultimate goal of maintaining and further building a strong sense of community. It is an honor to be here accepting this on behalf of the class of 2021. You all have left an impactful legacy that will influence the Mel's community for years to come. We sincerely wish all of you the best as you enter a new chapter of life, in which you will undoubtedly continue to achieve greatness and proudly represent the Mel's community.
We can confidently say that if the class of 2020 had remained this strong throughout a global pandemic, they are bound to overcome the various challenges they may encounter during the upcoming years.
To the class of 2020, thank you and congratulations.
It is my honor to welcome our valedictorian, Isabel Malakandov, to address the class of 2020.
March 15th, 2020. They're canceling school until April 20th. That's a month and 5 days. I can't handle it. I'm shaking and crying. I'm glad the governor and mayor finally did something, even though they should have done it a long time ago. And if it's up until April 20th, then I'll be fine. But the possibility of it getting canceled until the end of the school year gets to me. That's not just the end of the year, it's the end of my high school career. I want senior trip. I want graduation. I want senior sunset. I can make do without senior dinner and decision day, but everything else I want. I need. I work too hard for me to not walk across the stage, for me to not say my valedictorian speech. The thought of not seeing my friends in school again shakes my core. Not seeing my teachers. And yeah, I'll see them after, but this was supposed to be my senior year. I'm a clean freak now and have major anxiety and my chest hurts a lot. I feel like no one in my family truly understands and are calling me paranoid. I'm scared to go outside, but then I'm on my phone all day. And even with all the overstimulation my generation has had, the news overload is exhausting. It is overwhelming and gives me anxiety. I really hope by April 20th, New York City is safer and coronavirus is gone. And if not gone, at least very minimal enough for us to go back to school. Senior trip will happen, prom will happen, school will resume before May. I will be okay, my family will be okay, my friends will be okay. June 23rd, 2020. Well, I graduated, sort of. How did you get here, you might ask? Well, in order for me to answer that, we have to go way back. September 6th is when we started our senior year journey. As we all gathered on the field to make it 2020 with our bodies, buzz and excitement filled the air. Our skin was fresh from the summer tan and our lips itching to tell our friends about what happened in the past few months. But nothing was better than the trips that was to come. September and October marked a period of bliss for the class of 2020. We went on countless trips and were outside of the building more than we were in. For our kickoff, we went to different places at NYC to look at and compare the resilience in different neighborhoods. Some of us went to the Rockaways and ate lunch on the beach, and others went to Soho and lived their bougie lifestyle for the day. Many of us also got to participate in the climate march. It was a time where teenagers from all over NYC got to have their voices heard on an issue that will impact future generations. It was the start of our social activism. We were marching, we were shouting, we were heard. We also went to the Vessel, where we not only drew forest diagrams and made horrible sketches, but also got to see our city from unbelievable heights. For a school that hands out fieldwork that, like the last slice of pizza, the amount of trips we went on in the beginning months of senior year was incredible. And it wasn't just the trip, it was the vibe of the senior class. It was that blissful time when school technically started, but the homework load was so light, it felt like summer, or at least we acted like it was. I think you could all agree that the start of senior year was one of the best times of our high school career and felt like a sneak peek to what would have come in second semester. It felt like the typical high school experience in the movies, and I loved every second of it. November in Mel's is known for one thing, Harvest Feast. It's a time where we all come together and realize just how thankful we are for having each other. More importantly, it's a time to eat, a lot. This Harvest Feast really allowed me to see how important crew was in my life. I think a lot of us take for granted the 30 minutes a day we have with the same people before a school day, but there will never be a time in our lives where we will have that again. For every crew, Harvest Feast looked different. For the outrageous O'Connells, ours consisted of attempting to watch Victorious, blasting Ariana Grande through the smartboard while playing Monopoly, and ending it with What Do You Mean? But no matter what it looked like, each of us got to bond with our crew, which was essential to what was to come. December, college stress, lots of it. Everyone had their own unique college process, but alas, it was time for our college march. No matter where you wanted to go, we all marched and supported each other along the way. It was a day filled with joy, nervousness, and of course, Chipotle. As our stomachs got full, we reflected about the shift that was about to come. This was the beginning of the end. And not only will we be going to college in the next calendar year, it would always be a new decade. January and February. 2020. This was gonna be our year. We are finishing high school in a historic time, a new decade. This year had all the holidays on a weekend. So what was not to love about 2020, right? Second semester was officially in bloom, the semester we've all been looking forward to, that class officers have been planning for years, and what every student was ready to experience, senior events. March. Every day, more and more information is coming out about a new virus, a coronavirus called COVID-19. We're all getting anxious, and day by day, more of our conversations with one another turn into a coronavirus discussion. But they can't really close down schools, right? And this is where I started journaling. March 15th, 2020, they're canceling school until April 20th. March 27th, 2020, we are all desperate to be with each other again. The mayor says this is only temporary, but we need something to keep us going. The class officers and I had created an Instagram called 20Mels20 to promote community while in quarantine. I mean, when has the class of 2020 ever turned down an opportunity to be together? From the car washes to the carnivals, we are the class that shows up for each other. The ones who will come at 8 a.m. in the morning to set up carnival booths or stay until 8 p.m. to clean movie nights. The class has made the class officer's job easy with building community because all we had to do was create an event and community followed. This was no different virtually. You all brought into the Mel's corniness in exchange for a sense of community to stay the same. You sent in baby pictures, debuted your talents, and let us ID pictures, especially mine. March 28, 2020. My dad is hospitalized after testing positive for COVID-19. Oh man, today was a blur. Around 10 p.m., I'm on the phone with my aunt and the doorbell rings. I open the first door hesitantly and realize it's the EMT from Hatala who took my dad to the hospital earlier. I open the door and he hands me a glove full of vitamin C and zinc pills. Earlier in the day, the EMT suggested that we take these to build up our immunity. Now, after working an entire shift, here he was in his own car, looking out for strangers in the midst of the worst of the pandemic. After all the fears and the anxiousness of today, it was the first time I smiled in a while. I needed that encounter to feel hopeful again, that good things do happen. And that's what you all did for each other. You were like the EMT guy, spreading love to one another by going out of your way to check in on each other. Usually when there's a break in school, people stop talking to one another and connections fade, but not us. I saw friendships closer than they were ever before, and much like the EMT, being there for each other when we needed it most. April. Did this month ever even happen? May 9th, 2020. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. Say their names. In response to the white supremacy in our country and Black people being killed by police officers, our very own Kamari Patterson sparked up a conversation in an online event she hosted for the school. I am so proud of her. She touched on topics that just a few weeks later would be trending and would result in protests in every state of the country. With the global pandemic giving us time and space to expose the systemic racism in our society, everyone had to listen and speak up. You cannot sit in ignorance anymore. We pride ourselves at Mel's with the core values of advocacy and stewardship, and this is our time to be the social justice activists that we talked about in Socratic seminars. As a class, we rose to the occasion to stand up for what was right. We became the change makers we learned about and that everyone kept telling us we could be. We signed petitions, we educated ourselves and others, we showed up for Black Lives Matter meetings, and for some, even protested. I'm incredibly proud of the work we have been doing, but just know it's not over yet and we need to do our part in order to continue to fight for justice. May 15th, 2020. We won Battle of the Grades for the 4th consecutive year in a row. This is one of the first times in quarantine I felt like I was back at school again. Yes, there was no screaming on top of our lungs to cheer our classmates on or take over the entire auditorium with our 2020 chant, but we made up for it by the effort we put in. I'm honestly not surprised, but it still amazes me how far we will go for each other. Battle of the Grades is something really important to us all. It not only gives us the ultimate bragging rights, it carries a part of our legacy. You all showed up and showed out for each other. Whether it was coming outside of your car to do an exercise or practicing Scribblio countless times the night before, our desire to make each other proud and succeed together is unlike any other. June 22nd, 2020. Well, I graduated, sort of. Today was my drive-through graduation and the last time I'll see the campus in a while. It doesn't feel real. Graduating is already a surreal feeling, but to be done with a place you haven't physically seen or been into for 3+ months is almost unprocessable. I had a really hard time accepting what senior year has come to, and I still don't fully accept it. But I think what helped me was realizing that what we all did despite the setbacks. Despite a global pandemic, we still managed to graduate high school. Despite schools closing, we still created memories and built community. Despite systemic racial injustice, we used the resources we had to speak out. Despite it all, we prevailed. And I don't think you understand how incredible that is, how incredible you are. June 26th, 2020. I'm saying my valedictorian speech on Zoom in front of hundreds of people I cannot see in virtual graduation. Before March 15th, I would never think those words would ever come out of my mouth. The amount of change from September till now that we all had to endure is enough for a lifetime. Even though we have gone through so much change and hardship, what have always stayed the same is the qualities we have as a class that makes us the community we are today. The qualities that we demonstrated have always been there, but especially in times like these, the ability for us to organize together, create a positive change in this world, and be there for each other leaves me inspired. We are going into the real world while the real world is in shambles. For any other group of people, I would be concerned, but not for the class of 2020. The attributes that make the class of 2020 who we are today are the same attributes that will help the world not only stabilize, but be a better place. We have a lot of power, and I am confident in our ability to leave our mark on the world that will most definitely go down in history. Thank you.
Good evening, graduates, staff, families, friends of Mel's. Thanks for joining us for this very special moment in a very special time. Class of 2020, you all are a very, very unique group. The easy thing to talk about is, yeah, you won 4 straight battles of the classes, which has never been done before. But that's small compared to what you've brought to Mel's over the last 4 to 7 years. You've contributed to a culture and cemented a legacy. You've started organizations. You've advocated passionately for things you believed in. And you've shown the classes behind you what it takes to be a truly great class. And that was before a global pandemic struck, upending all of your plans. When the announcement was made that we were going into remote learning, our thoughts immediately turned to our seniors. We were worried about you, how you would feel about your senior year. And there was also that part of us that wanted to protect you from pain, and it kicked in right away. But what we quickly learned is that we didn't need to worry about you. Once we went into remote learning, it became even more clear how truly special this group is. You showed up at community meetings. You connected with each other. You created a new social media page for your class that has been incredible. You led forums to discuss the injustices happening in our country. While there have been plenty of reasons to feel hopeless over these last few months, I am buoyed by the reality that you all will be the ones heading out into the world to lead us through the challenges that we face next. We've said it so many times to you that Mel's is just practice. Now it's time for you to get out there and do the work. It's time. You are ready. I can't wait to see what you all accomplish, and I hope you know that even though there were moments where you were frustrated with us, we never stopped believing in the people you could and will become. It has been our absolute honor and privilege to be just a small part of your journey. So thank you, we love you, we miss you, and that's period, I think, with a T at the end. At this point, we are now going to get ready to begin the passing of diplomas. Ms. Abreu.
Welcome, Abreu crew. Kevin Jysing. Joanna Josher. Luisa Kramer Amoros. Luis Mayancella. Cecil Novak. Gabriel Rivas. Jonathan Solano Diaz. Stephen Vargas. Congratulations, guys.
Welcome, Avellino's crew. Daniela Alvarado. Lena Cohen. Claudia Corbello. Isaac Diaz. Yoslin Hernandez. Andrew LaCory. Catherine Mezzarina. Kamari Patterson. Ashley Ram. Daniel Rich. Jacob Rodriguez. Yuvraj Singh. Samantha Tabone. Micaiah Wallace. And Laura Walter. Congratulations.
Miss Gladhar's crew. Chelsea Angel Marita. Joshua Badassi. Vita Bridgelall. Kyle Bullard. Haley Kalinko Newcomb. Josiah Manuel. Alex Gockley. Shayana Gray. Samantha Mayorga. Adeshala Okun. Dashad Otero.
Let's go.
Peck. Leah Rampersad. Yana Shah. Congratulations, gladiators.
Mr. King's crew. Rufus Black. Brian Dell. Giovanni Herrera Cervantes. Michael Gomez. Hannah Gonzalez. Karina Ishmael. John Juarez. Miriam Kamate. Jasmine Lucero. George Novak. Ethan Ortiz. Tiana Payne. Natalia Smith. Congratulations, everyone.
Mr. O'Connell's crew, welcome. Nadia Batch. Jake Keynes Flores. Alana Featherstone.
Yeah.
Nicholas Harris. Katie Jimenez. Sion Kikuchi. Shane Marino. Shamar McDowell. Stephen Mejia. Isabel Molokondov. Melissa Ramdeen. Mateusz Sohatsky. Amaya Velasco. And Alexandra Ward. Congratulations.
Welcome, Priestley crew. Isabella Espinosa. Brandon Estevez. Shanae Fenton. Gabriela Ferreras. Yefim Gutman. Alexander Mayancela. Leonard Meyer. Joseph Pimentel. Brandon Reyes. Sebastian Rivera. And Isabel Smith. Congratulations, Priestley Parrots.
Welcome, Rosenberg's crew. Ryan Bowler. Kiara Colon. Peter Davilar. Vanessa Garcia. Oren Kaplan. Jeremy Mejia. Kelsey Perez Garces. Nicholas Sarney. Veronica Scott. Michelle Solano Diaz. Joseph Subroth. Lizette Vargas. Kimora Ward. Daniel Zylo. Congratulations, everyone.
Welcome, Zino's crew. Malik Bailey, Shane Cho, Samantha Espinal, Alma Fuentes, Dara Gopi Singh, Sharjeel Iftikhar, Linda Geronimo, Giovanni Martinez, Jude Nickel, Francis Quinones, Anakin Salavaria, Jada Towns, Chris Vasquez Martinez,
Pog.
Donna Velasquez. Congratulations, Ewoks.
Congratulations, graduates. In just a second, we are going to get to the really good part, but I do just want to take a quick moment to recognize a few people who have been working tirelessly since your senior year started and probably even a little bit before that, and that would be the members of the senior committee. So that's Miss Bright, Miss Rosenberg, Ms. Sewell, Ms. Sino, Mr. Stern, Mr. O'Connell. These folks have been meeting before school, back when we were in school. And then since we've gone remote, we have been meeting remotely, and in both forums. It's really been admirable to watch everybody stay on task, despite myself and O'Connell constantly typing distracting things in the chat. So thank you, senior committee. Senior year would not be the same without you, and we appreciate you. At this point, I'd like to invite all the graduates to turn on your cameras. Stay muted, just turn on your cameras. Now, when I say the thing, you are going to move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left side of your cap. And then we will throw up our caps in the air. You can yell, scream, do whatever. You can unmute yourself and go crazy. So on behalf of myself, Mr. Finley, the entire staff at MELS, by the power vested in us by the Board of Regents of the state of New York, as well as the city of New York, we now pronounce you graduates of the class of 2020. Congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, we did it. We so
Graduates.
still want to fight half of y'all.
I'll get a pod champ in the chat. I'll get the chat.
What? Congratulations, Alana. Everybody on three.
Water on.
1, 2, 3. Congratulations, Alana.
I know.
A pog in the chat.
Congratulations, class of 2020. We are incredibly proud of all of you. We miss you. We send our best, and we cannot wait to see you soon. You are always welcome at MELS. Thank you.
Please stay tuned for an exit image of the class of 2020 mural. Thank you all. Have a great night.